anytime a man is anytime fathers are doing things, potentially job roles, which women are doing, there seems to be this reluctance to give a men a bit of a shout out and say, you know what, you're doing your bit.
Sometimes with certain men, they can be doing all the right things, and to them it's like, I can't win. I can't do anything right. I'm doing what I feel is right, but all that's getting spoken about is what I've done wrong. Welcome to another episode of Dads Divulge. Listen, we put out a poll recently and we got some very, very interesting feedback. Stu, explain to them what we're going to dive into today, bro.
Right. Okay, people. First things first, though. See the like button, hit it. See the subscribe button, hit it. If you've done both of those things, thank you very much. Right. This week, we're going to go back on a poll that we did recently on Instagram. And first things first, thank you to everyone that participated. Me and Ryan certainly had some interesting interesting topics that were put in the poll. A few people reached out to us separately as well, and I put a few things out. One thing which came up, more than once actually, was around praise and the type of praise that men get and dads get actually. And I think more particularly, why do we get so much praise for doing what we're doing is, quite frankly, our jobs. So this one when I'm doing with my skin a little bit, because parenting is a two-player sport. It's a shared role, okay? And actually, if we're all doing our jobs properly, why shouldn't we get encouragement? Why shouldn't we be praised for what we're doing? You know, Ryan, touch on this a little bit, because yeah.
Listen, for me, it goes back to basics, isn't it? I've got 4 kids, and they all designated their jobs around the house, whether that's folding clothes, whether that's wiping the table, whatever that may be. They know that's their job, yeah? But when they do their job, and when they do it well, I praise them. I say, well done, good job, like you're supposed to do. And it's no different to any man or any woman doing their job properly, in my eyes. I don't see where this thing comes from, like men getting praised for doing their job. Like, at the end of the day, if we all went through life and we did what we're supposed to do, life would be easy for most of us. But as we know, it's hard to do what you're supposed to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's an easy job to do what you're supposed to do. And for me, it's not so much praise, it's more encouragement, bro. It's more acknowledgement. Like, when I think about the compliments I get from certain family members, friends and stuff like that, that's the stuff that keeps me going. Because as we discussed in previous episodes, bro, this is the hardest job I've ever undertaken. I don't know about anyone else, but this is the hardest job I've ever undertaken, bro. And there's some days where literally I feel to myself, I cannot cope. I don't even know. Like, who the hell, like, what's going on in here? I'm saying, like, I don't know where to turn.
Yeah.
And it's only those words of encouragement from other people saying, you know what, you're doing a good job. Keep it up. You know what? I can see in your kids that you're doing a good job. Keep it up. It's only when I look back to them and I'm thinking, do you know what? Like, keep going. Keep going. Don't flake out. Don't quit. Keep going. That's how I look at it.
Listen, it is a difficult job, and I just don't see why there's tension, why there's a lot of issue with men being given praise, men being given, let's talk about, forget the men part, let's just talk about fathers doing their job, because I think that was more specifically to what came up by a few people. And I was a bit taken back by it all, if I'm being honest with you. It seems to me that people, well, I would say that it's mostly women. I don't hear men talking about, why are other men getting praised so much. In fact, it's women that are praising men for doing certain parts. You know, it's mostly women that actually praise men for saying, "Oh, do you know what? You're doing your bit with the school run. You're doing a bit with the cooking. You're doing your bit with looking after the kids." There might be one or two men out there that even do the hair, do the plaiting and stuff like that. You know, yeah, it's our jobs, and you know, it's one thing I hate as well when people say, you know, "Oh, you're babysitting your child." No, I'm actually looking after my child. You know, this is what it's about, and I don't see why there's a lot of issue with it. In my opinion, the women mostly that I see who take issue with this, it's mostly women who probably feel a bit overloaded, and actually they're probably doing a lot more than they'd like to do. And the sheer the sheer idea of, you know, the dad getting praise for the little bit that he does, it seems to irk everyone. I don't see why. You know, if there's something that a man's taken, if there's a certain job role that a man's taken on inside the home, right? Doesn't matter if he's doing 10 things. If there's one little thing he's doing, do you know what? Give him a bit of praise. Because I'll tell you what, when women are running around looking after children, looking after children all day long and working and doing other bits on the weekend, or maybe a little side hustle, doing other jobs on the jobs on the side, you hear a lot of praise that goes to them. They're doing they're doing so much. Good on them. They're doing everything really well. They're good for doing it when they've got children. Well, is that not the same? Is it not the same when a man is working all day long? Is it not the same when a man's working and got kids to look after in the evening? You know, it's the same type of thing. I think, you know, it seems to me that anytime fathers are doing things, potentially job roles, which women are doing, there seems to be this reluctance to give a men a bit of a shout out and saying, "Do you know what, you're doing your bit." So I think I just don't know where it.
Bro,
I don't know where it's all gone wrong. Like for me, it's baffling. Absolutely
I'm baffled.
baffling.
Dude, I'm saying, well, maybe there's certain women that have had certain experiences with a particular type of man, and that's maybe where it's coming from. It's like we have to stop tarnishing all men with the same brush. You see what I'm saying? In general, the men that are not getting spoken about, the men that are actually there doing their job every day, should get a bit of praise. Listen, everyone needs a bit of praise. Everyone needs a bit of praise. That's how we keep on moving forward. You go at work, you've been employed to do a job, and they'll promote you for doing that job well. They're not going to say, they shouldn't say to you, "Oh, do you know what? Because this is the job you signed for, yeah, just do your job and get on with it. And we don't need to tell you well done. We don't need to give you a raise. We don't need to," because no matter what job you sign for, people get unmotivated. People get into little slouches. Everyone needs a little pick-me-up sometimes to be told you're doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with it, and I think it's necessary. Like, for me, you know, each time my missus has given birth, I've kind of gained a new respect for her. And it's because of, like, I've seen the process from start to finish, and I've seen what her body's gone through. I've seen her in pain. I've seen her, you know, swollen ankles, all of that stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Not being able to sleep, all of that. And I praise her each time. I'm like, you know what? Hats off to you, babe. Like, I don't know how you done it, but trust me, I bow down. I give my praise. But would it be right if I just said, you know what? That's what you were put on earth to do.
Listen,
that's only you can do that job. No other man can do that job. Yeah. So just get on with it, love. It wouldn't be fair for me to say that. It would be harsh for me to say that.
Yeah, they'll be saying you're too savage. They're saying that you're too savage and you don't respect how things go. I don't
appreciate her and I don't do all of this. You know what I'm saying? But the facts are that biologically, even if I wanted to take that responsibility off you, I can't take it off you. This is what you've been put on. This is probably one of the only things. Like, if you like strip it back, this is what you've been put on the earth to do: is to reproduce. Yeah. So that's your job. That is actually your job. But I'm not gonna take that away from you. How much of a good job you've done doing that. I'm not gonna take away from the fact that, you know what, it is bloody hard.
Yeah. On top of everything else, which
exactly,
quite frankly, if you're a parent, you should be doing. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not someone who feels like I need to receive praise all the time. Different men are different, and certain women are different as well. But we know how much praise goes a long way for mothers. We know how much, especially early stages. Like, when you think about it for 1 second, Ryan. Yeah, think about what it was like when you had your first child, right? The amount of things people say to you, it's almost like the kind of comments you hear with your firstborn, you don't really hear again. The same type of people, they don't give you the same type of praise. They don't even say congratulations the same. It's all just like first time round, it's all a bit, wow, welcome to the club type of thing. And there's a lot of encouragement. There's a lot of, it's going to be hard. And you get that from people who are your age and it's got a few, no different to when how you were with me when I had my first child, to people who are my dad's age, way later on in the game. They're like, listen, it's going to be hard. And for context, he's talking about it 30 years on, and he's tapping into some of that memory and saying, look, it's going to be hard, but you get to a stage where they're 30 odd at some point, right? I think we as a people need more encouragement. This is not just about men. This is about everyone doing their bit. And actually, it's about having an appreciation for the different parts we play in terms of being parents. Mothers can't be fathers. Fathers can't be mothers. That's just my standpoint.
That's what it is.
Like I've said in other episodes, I think there's certain functional things you can go and do. Yeah, you can go and change a light bulb. Yeah, you can go and do the football practice. Yeah, you can go and do the school drop off. Now I'm talking about the men now. Yeah, you can go and wash the dishes. But there's a certain love that you give which is different to the other partner. Please bear that in mind. And actually, this whole narrative around why do you get the praise? It's normal to us, or why do you get the praise? Isn't it your job? Well, look, like you just said just now, working is your job. Yeah, looking after the children is your job. You would expect some praise for that. It's a tough job. We keep saying it. We've said it in almost every single episode. It's a tough job. Like, people need to just.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's not a fight. It's not a fight. I don't get.
This is nothing new, bro. This is nothing new. Like, I don't know why people feel like you get to a certain age and you don't need to be recognized for certain things. Everybody is craving for recognition, bro. Craving for it, no matter how old you are. We know if we want our kids to do something, we know when they get to a certain stage and they do it how we want them to do it, we're all over them. Yes, that was amazing. Like, because we want them to carry on.
It's a confidence thing. We
want them to recognize, bro. Even down to training a dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the dog does what you want them to, he gets a treat. He's praised. Do you know what I'm saying? This is simple stuff. And I don't see when it comes to men, it's any different. Like, even more so, I don't think some women understand the power of praising your man. Like, even like I think this is a major key alert for certain women. Yeah, I think it's like, do you know how much we rate our women praising us? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, showing some appreciation, not even praising, let's say, but just showing appreciation. Just saying, you know what, I recognize what you done. Yeah, I noticed what you done. Thank you. I know it's your job.
It goes a long way.
It goes a long way, man. It goes a long way. Let's not wait till, let's just not save up everything we've got for the next argument, so we can throw everything we've got at that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it goes a long way.
Does most of the cooking. Sometimes I'm like, babe, I really appreciate you cooking. Like,
that's it.
I don't have to say that. I don't have to say that. But I know, she's doing it every day. It's not flipping easy. Let me just say to her, I appreciate it, innit? I appreciate it. Like, it goes a long way, man.
Yeah, and for me, I think, if there's any mothers out there who take issue with the fact that men do get praised, or actually why do they get praised so much? I'll tell you another one I've heard the other day is like, we're at home, we're doing so much. In fact, this came in actually, just someone WhatsApped this to me. We do so much at home and all the rest of it, but daddy seems to be the best person in the world when he comes in from work. It's just a different type of love. It's almost like they're annoyed that we get that our children love us in a different way, And I don't know if that's a jealousy thing. I think it should just be recognised that it's a different type of love.
Of course it is.
Pick the kids up from nursery. That's a great feeling when the kids are running out the door.
Mm.
Daddy, 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 daddy. You know, they want to go and see you. It's just a different type of love. It shouldn't be looked at as, oh, why do the kids, love you off that way? And it's me that does all the cooking. It's me that does all the cleaning. It's me that does all the drop off.
But the thing is,
go on.
we're both, as you said, it's a two-player sport, and we're both making sacrifices in this game. We're both making sacrifices in this game. To think that the majority of men I know are not like, yay, let's go to work today, like jump up out of bed and let's get into work. Like, most men don't enjoy their job. That's just a fact. And the thing is, we do it because we know we have to do it to provide for our family. That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
Listen, we've said it before. Is being a provider enough? No. There's more that you need to go and do. You need to go to work, yeah? You've got to keep the lights on, yep. You've also got to go and help with the homework. You've got to help with just the loving aspect, the caring aspect of fatherhood. There's so much more you have to go and do. It does deserve a bit of praise. And I'm not saying I need flowers. I'm not saying every single day when I do something small, hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone's different, and I think those that take a bit of issue with fathers in particularly getting a lot of praise, try and give some context when you're explaining this issue that you've got to other people. Because listen, let's just say how it is, really, to be fair.
It's, bro, the honest.
Sorry, I was just going to say, if you've got a man in your life or a father in your life, father of your kids, that isn't doing his bit, don't put that on the rest of the other men. Don't put that on the women now who see when a man is doing certain good things and likes to say, do you know what's going on? Don't put that on the. Quite frankly, if there's women that take issue with it, go and ask the other women who give the praise. Go and ask the wives who praise their husbands for doing the odd little bit around the house or doing more than their fair share in the house. Ask them, why do you praise your man? Why do you praise the father of your children? Isn't that his job? And I reckon you'll get a different answer. I reckon those women that appreciate certain things that their man does, appreciate what the father of their child is. And listen, I'm spreading the net far and wide here. Listen, me and Ryan we've got partners. We're married. We've been married to our partners for a couple of years, yeah? We're not just talking about from a married man point of view. What we're saying is there'll be men, there are men out there who are successful fathers and they don't live with their children. They don't live with the mother of their children, right? I'm telling you now, there's some women out there who still recognize hard work that the father of their children's doing, their husbands are doing, their boyfriends are doing. So actually, if you're in the camp of actually, do you know what? Men shouldn't be getting no praise like that. Well, you know what? Widen your peer group a little bit, yeah? Start speaking to certain other women and actually try and understand what is it that they're seeing that needs praise. And they might even tell you stuff that we've either touched on, or it might be something that me and Ryan can learn from. To be fair, there's something there why we give the praise. Because I tell you what, I know for my wife, praise goes a long way. Like praise goes a long way for her, and actually, it's a confidence thing. Of
course it is, man.
Everyone's different,
and that's the thing. Like, we all need it. We all need it, bro. Like, this is something that, as I said, it goes as simple as when you're training a dog. Like, these are simple things. These are simple things, and we're relatively simple creatures, us men. But sometimes that's kind of taken to another extreme. You see what I'm saying? Like, as I said, and I'll say it again, women, I don't think you understand how much some recognition goes in terms of a man. How far it goes. Do you see what I'm saying? Because sometimes with certain men, they can be doing all the right things, and to them it's like, I can't win. I can't do anything right. I'm doing what I feel is right, but all that's getting spoken about is what I've done wrong. And then it gets to the stage where it's like, do you know what? There's no point in me even trying anymore. because anything I do, I can't get a little bit of recognition. I can't get a little bit of, thanks. I like what you did. Oh, that's great what you did there. I'm saying.
Yeah. And later on in life, I've noticed those guys are the men that sometimes lose their way. So let's not forget that sometimes see those men, certain men you might see on the street corner look like they lost their way a little bit. Some men that you see like maybe you call as tramps, homeless. I'll tell you what, some of those men were probably really successful at some point, and some of this quite frankly lost their way. It takes something small as, not even something small. It takes the repetitive, I'm trying, it's not good enough. I'm trying, I'm not getting anywhere. And they just give up. There's a lot of men that have just given up. And we touched it on one of the episodes in terms of, should a man be forgiven for not being around? Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why a man won't be around. I don't for their children. I don't condone it, but I'm telling you now, we should also understand that there's a lot of reasons why they won't be around. It's not just actually, you know what, I don't want this child. Actually, do you know what? There's a breakdown sometimes in communication. There's a breakdown in the relationship, and some of it is quite frankly, I'm bending over backwards for my wife and my kids, my girlfriend and my kids. I'm bending over backwards for this girl. Actually, quite frankly, I didn't want to be with, but she's decided actually, I'm going to have this child. Yeah. If you're going to step up to the plate, and especially if you're with one of these women who actually said, I'm going to have the child regardless, there will be a lot of frustrations that's going to follow. I'm trying my hardest to see my kids. I'm trying hard to put food on the table. I'm trying hard to send you some money. I'm trying hard to do things with the kids, and it's not getting anywhere. Right. And like I said, it just takes a bit of appreciation that sees it. And you know what? I can recognize in certain men, you might be the same, yeah. Certain men that receive some of that appreciation, they look a bit different. They act a bit different. I can't quite describe
the difference, bro.
It makes a massive difference.
It makes all the difference.
It makes a massive difference. Huge difference.
It makes all the difference. I don't know. The thing is, a lot of the time, from women, having problems with their men. Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? Why isn't he doing this? Start recognizing him for what he's doing first. Yeah. And then, like honey, use that to maybe get him to do whatever else you want. But if he's not getting recognized for the basics, you got no chance in trying to get him to do more and more and more and more. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to recognize him for what he's doing now and say, okay, even if that's not what you want, okay, I recognize you, I see you.